name is Michelle Paul. I am originally from Beaumont, Texas. I joined the Marine Corps out of high school, so I traveled for a couple of years a- around the country, in a couple of places outside the United States. I have two boys. My youngest is actually a Navy sailor, so he walked in my footsteps as well. I moved to Charlotte in 2018 because we're Panthers fans.
Oh
I don't
wow.
know. Yeah, I love telling that story. I think that's probably one of the more interesting stories about me. But I moved to North Carolina because we're a Panthers family. In corporate America, I was a recruiter, basically since retiring out of the Marine Corps. But my passion was, and will always be serving both my community and my country. So, while I was in the Marine Corps, while I was out of the Marine Corps, I was always looking for ways to bring the community together to support local Black-owned businesses and build community alliances in San Diego. For me, that was networking events and poetry. When I moved to Raleigh, it was networking events, poetry, game nights. And it allowed me a way to create it used to be called Melanin Enterprise, the Buy Black City Guide, but we rebranded, dropped the Melanin Enterprise because if you didn't know the brand, then it was just way too hard to explain what the brand was. So we dropped the Melanin Enterprise and now it's just the Buy Black City Guide. And that's self-explanatory.
Wow. Yes, ma'am. And disabled combat veteran and definitely served the United States of America. So we want to say thank you for that. Thank you for your service.
You are welcome.
Thank
Thank
you
you.
so much. How many years did you serve?
20.
Wow, wow. And would if you had to do it all over again, would you do it again?
Oh, most definitely. Yeah, America. I tell people all the time, she got her issues, but I love her. I love her.
Excellent. And I know I always ask this to anybody that comes on from any branch, between the Marines, the Army, the
The
Navy,
Marines.
everything. Uh-oh. I didn't even get the question out. Like, oh my goodness. Oh, okay. Go Marines. Go Marines. That is amazing. So I heard you say that you have a son that's in the Navy.
He
How
was.
did you feel about that then when he made that choice?
Yeah, none of us was happy because both me and my brothers were both my brothers were Marines too. So they was looking at me like, how did this happen? I was like, I didn't tell him to go join. Like, matter of fact, I wouldn't even sign his paperwork. Like, I was just like, no, no. And he had to wait until he was 18. I was that parent. I went to the recruiting station like with my chest puffed up, like, no, you can't have my son.
Wow, wow. But I know you're very proud. And,
Oh,
we do allow our children to be individuals, but sometimes I know we want them to walk the same path that we walk. So I'm proud of you for allowing him to choose for himself and go in his own direction. But I know when he comes back home at times, y'all go at it. I know you do. Definitely.
me too.
I know you do.
Me too.
Yes. So, and then you definitely also mentioned that you have another son. What does he do?
hmm Yeah. So my oldest Darian, he's a husband, he's a father. He works. Don't get me to line. Some technical something or another. I can't even pronounce the name of the company, but he does. I don't know. He does something.
Wow. So he
Yeah.
probably keeps you. That's why you so good out here on social media, because you got an inside connection. You got somebody helping you to navigate with all this, with the algorithms and everything. Okay, okay, I
Yeah.
got.
Yeah.
So Michelle, how I met you is because you started an event here in Raleigh, North Carolina, where
Mhm.
you allow people, and I believe it's called Let's Get Social, right?
Let's Get Social Raleigh. Yes, ma'am.
Yes, and the Let's Get Social Raleigh is just one of them because you've done many of these in different places. Talk about that for a minute. How
Mhm.
long have you been doing this, and where was your first one?
Oh wow. Okay. Well, my first event and I want to talk about event, because whether it's an open mic or whether it's a game night, the goal was always to get people to support Black-owned businesses and to build strong community alliances. I think my first event actually might have been like in 2007, 2008. It was in Vista, California. But then in 2009, I actually hosted a poetry event at the New Eurekan Cafe in New York, in Manhattan. And then that was my first like event. But my first game night was January, the middle of January. I think maybe January 15th, 2019. It was at Seventh Restaurant in Charlotte, North Carolina. We had over 250 people in that restaurant. It was so amazing. Like I remember asking the owner, I was like, so do you have any complaints? He said, yeah, we ran out of food 3 times. I was like, that's a good problem.
Yes,
So, yeah.
yes, wow. So 250 people. Well, I mean, even the one in California, what stuck out in your mind? What was some of your takeaways from the very first one in 2008 in Vista, California?
For me, it's always about bringing the community together, because it's all, so this is going to sound super strange, because you're going to be like, how are you going to connect these parts together? But for me, it was a safety issue, because in my eyes, you're less likely to want to do harm to me if you know me, if you trust me, if you respect me. So I personally believe, this is my personal belief, I personally believe that a lot of the problems, there's a number of things that we can focus on, that we need to change within the country, within our community. But for me personally, I think that if I know you, if I get to know you, if I meet you, and I know who you are, then I'm less likely to be afraid of you. I'm less likely to want to do harm to you. I'm less likely to distrust you. So the first, like, I think what I really want to do is I just want us to get to know each other. And then from there, that's how we build our community. That's why, like, now in LGSR, when you all call each other cousin, y'all just don't know like what it does to my heart, because I'm like, that's it right there. When I see you when I see you saying, hey, let's go to lunch, or hey, let's go do this together, or hey, if you need help, I can help you with this. That's community. Like,
Yeah.
and I tell people all the time, we're creating a mini Black Wall Street within LGSR, because Black Wall Street was a community where we lived and thrived together. We were neighbors.
Wow.
It wasn't just businesses. We were neighbors.
Let me
We
tell you
looked
something,
out for each other.
that's 2 days in a row, because yesterday Oliver Brown was an accountant that worked on the financial district in Wall Street. And now
Oh,
you hear Michele Paul telling you again about Wall Street and about the
mhm,
connection on Wall Street. So
mhm,
I'm telling you right now, it's all about connecting. It's about networking. And I like what
mhm.
you're doing, because what you're doing is you're allowing people to socialize and to meet each other. It's not the business first. It's
No,
the people first. It's the people
yes.
first. And
Mhm.
correct me if I'm wrong, some people even met each other and started dating too, right?
Oh yeah, we gonna be going to a wedding here shortly.
Wow. Wow. So you actually have a couple that is still together and talk about getting married?
Yeah. What is his name? His last name is Bendy, and the girl name is Leona. And I was in DC this weekend, and I posted on Instagram I was in DC, and he was like, "We're in DC," and they told me, they were just like, "Yeah, it's getting serious." They didn't met each other's family. I mean, like, it is so dope. Like, I keep in contact with this couple because I'm rooting for them. I'm rooting for them.